What's up, everybody? This is Hoop Jargon back with yet another video. And man. Alvin Gentry, hate it had to be you, brother. Hate it had to be you. So unless you've been hiding under a rock, you've heard the news that Coach Alvin Gentry has been relieved of his duties of the New Orleans Pelicans. David Griffin does not play, man. When David Griffin is done with you, he gonna send you on your way, man. And if you're not familiar with David Griffin's history, look no further than his tenure for the Cavaliers, man. They had a new coach seemingly every 6 months. So, as you know, this is David Griffin's first year being a GM for the New Orleans Pelicans. So, he's doing business as usual, man. He got off easy, man. Like, if you look at Alvin Gentry's records for the last 5 years, it's not been pretty, man. As a combined total, he's sub 500 at 175 wins and 225 losses. In peep game, man, before we even talk about how this wasn't a fit this year, I just want to show how the firing wasn't unjustified, man. If you look at the resume, it ain't a good one, man. Over the last 5 years, let me take you over what he has done at the helm of having the New Orleans Pelicans. We're talking half this time you having Anthony Davis, one of the premier talents in the league. So his first year, 2015-16 season, 30 and 52. Next year, 16-17 year, 34 and 48, finishing 10th in the NBA. And last year, that 15th year I just mentioned, they finished 12th in the NBA. No playoffs. The 17-18 year, they put up 48 wins and 34 losses, finishing 6th in the West. Pretty good. Then the next year, they go right back down. Granted, this is the year that Anthony Davis demanded the trade, and there's a big, this big dark cloud over the season. So, fair enough. So 33 wins and 49 losses, and that was good enough for 13th place. And now that puts us with this year. After a very, very slow start, if you guys remember. In the middle, they kind of got their stuff together, and then when Zion became a part of the lineup, they looked like one of the more promising teams. And as we all know, going to the bubble, it pretty much was gift wrap for the Pelicans to get inside the playoffs. But nope. Didn't do it. So they finished the year 30 and 42. Again, finishing 13th in the NBA, which is that's embarrassing, man. It was gift wrap, to these guys to get to that next level and get to the playoffs. But so I just want to go over what Alvin Gentry has done so far to get himself in this position. So, I don't want the people to cry any blues for this man. I mean, he's shown he can't get it done, man. 5 years is enough, and it's long enough to evaluate. And not only is the record bad, when you watch New Orleans play, you often wonder, like, man, is this an AAU team or is this an NBA team? Like it almost seems like there's no continuity. It seems like there's no direction. Like sometimes they play fast, sometimes they play sloppy, sometimes they don't know if they want to be slow. Like you remember the last game they went through Jahlil Okafor the whole game. It's like what identity does this team have? Like what do y'all do? And one thing you're gonna have to do with young kids is either you're gonna have to untether them and let them go out and play, or you're gonna have a structured environment for them to learn and thrive under. And under Alvin, I just don't see either one, man. I see them a free-for-all offense. I see J.J. Redick push the break and pull up indiscriminately from three like he's Steph Curry or something. I see E'Twaun Moore, who is one of his loyal subjects, as we know after the AD trade, he was one of the guys loyal to Alvin Gentry, and so he, definitely rewarded him with minutes. But I see him go like he's James Harden, just pushing the break, making horrible decisions, and I don't see any recourse for this. So I just wonder, like, what is the identity of this team? Like, what do they do well as a collective? And I tell you what they do well as a collective. They run the floor really well, and what they do exceptionally well is transition offense and defense. Now, excuse me, defense needs some work. Now let's be frank about that. It takes a while in transition for those guys to get set up and ready to go. But once they're locked in, the defense isn't bad, man. And it's almost the opposite of offense. Like transition offense, that's kind of where they get their rocks off. But when they're in stagnant half-court offense, after Zoe passes that first ball off and goes runs to the corner like he always does, It's like it's Zion or bust, man, or BI ISO or bust. And listen, man, good teams, that is not how they operate. They execute the whole way. They get easy buckets. They put guys in position who aren't very talented to score easy baskets because of execution. And that's something I never saw with New Orleans. When they lost that first game in the bubble, being up 15 points, and you can just see that lead just get decimated. And you can watch, the starters were still jacking up heat check threes when you should be executing. At that point, when you have a lead like that, you can start executing and just take the air out the ball, man. But no, New Orleans playing like the score is 0-0 with a 15-point lead. And that's how the tides change on, those type of situations, man. When you're mismanaging minutes, you're mismanaging situation. And that's what makes, coaches like Bill Belichick so good, like Greg Popovich. It's no matter how the talent disparity may be on their team, they're going to always put guys in position to succeed. They're never going to waste possessions. Now, if they lose, they just lost to the better team. What they're not going to do is beat themselves. And as we saw, man, if you've been following just a modicum of the season for the Pelicans, they beat themselves a lot, man. A lot. And that's just, that is a sign of bad leadership, man. I'm not saying Coach Gentry is a bad coach per se, but, I'm going to go over a few of these things. It just shows that he's not the coach for this job, man. And let's talk about, the Zion Williamson mismanagement of minutes, man. I mean, you say he's on the minutes restriction, but you put him in during vital moments and you just totally yank him from the game. And I understand, that's a very sensitive thing that you have to adhere to. And these days, the load management thing is a part of the game now. So I know 10 years ago, this is all laughable. The mentality was you play until your leg blow out. So now I get it. You can't put him in like you want. I just question the times he was placed in, man. I'm just what are you doing? When it's winning time, you need a guy like Zion in, man. And you just see the yanking and the pulling going, and let's even extend that to Lonzo Ball, man. I mean, you basically had a team with 3-point guards, and you don't know when to play Lonzo, man. And I tell people all the time, man, you gotta let Lonzo just play, man. He's the kind of guy. He's a very cerebral, heady point guard. You're not gonna sit there and play him in short minutes, and he's effective in short bursts. You gotta let him put his fingerprint on a full basketball game, even more so than a Drew Holiday, who obviously is better than Zoe. Let's be honest. But Drew kind of, in his heart of hearts, I think he wants to be a 2-guard anyway. He's 6'4", so he has the stature to be a small 2-guard. So that's not a big deal. But you always saw that dichotomy of not knowing who the alpha was in that situation. Who's the guy that's gonna get you into your sets? And that's a problem that the Pelicans just had over and over and over, man. Because, Drew is more of an attack guy. He going to get buckets. He going to go and try to take his man off a dribble. Zoe is a facilitator. He's looking to see what the best options are and let me get the ball to my scorers. So you got the fire and ice thing going, but no direction for it. And I think that's a huge problem that always showed itself throughout the year. And I'm even surprised that Zoe even got it going, how he got it going towards the middle of the year. After that, because remember, he started real slow. And everybody, all the pundits, all the experts, quote unquote, were saying, Lakers fleeced the Pelicans and Zoe gonna be out the league in 2 years and all that crazy stuff. But, the problem still remained, man. Even once they were gelling, you would see, and I spoke about this last video, man, you would see Lonzo pass the ball to Zion and then totally take himself out the play. Which looked just like last year when he played for the Lakers. Pass the ball to LeBron, go hide in the corner. You're never going to get the most out of Lonzo Ball playing that way. Let me be the first to break this breaking news. It ain't happening, Jack. So, and I'm sure it's not helping that Coach Gentry reportedly had problems with David Griffin. And I led in talking about David Griffin does not play. If you fall out of favor, you will be on the unemployment line. He doesn't hold on to coaches for very long. As you remember, David Blatt had a winning record and he let him go. Mike Brown, former coach of the year, got let go. David Griffin don't play around, man. So that's it right now. I'm very excited to see who the Pelicans bring in as a replacement. There are rumors that Jason Kidd, Mark Jackson is another name that's come up, or even Jock Vaughn, who coaches the Brooklyn Nets right now. So we'll see, man. I just want a young, progressive coach, and I wouldn't even mind Jock Vaughn, because you see how the Nets play. They play up and down with a lot of lack of talent, and they're still competing. So whatever coach understands that principle, whatever coach understands what needs to be done to execute that level of play for this. Let's be honest, guys. This is a team with a lot of talent. So we shall see. I'm hoping that the best gets done for this young core, like I just previously stated. And I think this is going to be one of the more interesting storylines you're going to see during the offseason. So, guys, appreciate y'all for logging in. Appreciate y'all for checking me out. Please like, comment, subscribe, and please hit the notification bell for my new videos, man, when I drop them. I'm going to try to drop them more frequently. I appreciate all y'all been rocking with me. Till next time, y'all. Peace.